Oh snap, guys, it is time. We played the Pikachu song, which means it's time for the finals, and this is a very special finals of the HeroesHype Amateur Series tonight, isn't it, Anna?
Sure is, Gilly. We are in the Eye on the Storm sponsored HeroesHype Amateur Series Beta Finals.
Yes, and it's going to be the first best of 5 we have had, and it's going to be between the winners of the last match, Goon Squad Inc. versus the PLEYZ, who won the semifinal on Monday. They've already started drafting, so let's hop right into it.
Awesome. I love hopping right into things, Gilly, especially drafts like this. These teams are going to be really, really fun to watch, and so far, we see some pretty predictable bans. We will not see Lost Vikings this time. We've seen them a little bit so far this week, which is nice. Nice to see their little bearded faces. But we will not see them, nor will we see Illidan on Cursed Hollow this time, as the PLEYZ choose to ban Lost Vikings. And then their first pick is Sylvanas. Followed by Goon Squad. Or sorry, Goon Squad actually had the first pick, my bad. Goon Squad picked a Nuvarak first.
Yes. So Goon Squad, we've seen ban out the Illidan before, like they did last time as well. And of course, Lost Vikings, super good on this map because you have to leave lane in order to go for those map objectives, those tributes. And anytime you have that happen, that passive XP gain from Lost Vikings can really help a team get ahead. So, like you said, the PLEYZ have Sylvanas and Kael'thas already, 2 high damage dealing heroes. But then also they've got Sylvanas, who has that mini curse. Goon Squad first picking that Anubarak. They really, really like Anubarak, enough so that they're going to first pick. We should see some damage dealers here. I would not be surprised at all to see them pick up Jaina here, as well as maybe they'll go ahead and grab their support. They've been loving that Brightwing. Were they the ones loving that Brightwing?
Who doesn't love that Brightwing, though,
I always
Gilly?
forget who gets which support when I'm already into the next game because I get so pumped. But we've been seeing Brightwing picked early in nearly every game so far, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see them go ahead and pick her up. But they are dipping in the time pool a bit, trying to decide what to get. I think we will definitely see at least 1 damage dealer here, if not 2, to ensure that they are keeping up with the amount of damage that the players are doing. And there's Vala. Will we see Jaina? Will we see a support? What do you think, Anna?
I would like to see a Jaina. I feel like, yeah, I feel like looking into the face of Kael'thas and Sylvanas, you really want to make sure that you've got the damage to back up whatever you're doing to counter it, and just Jaina felt like the right move there. I think they could make a lot of supports work on this map. If they were to go Brightwing, great. If they were to need Uther, great. So they have a little more variety there. I think that there are certainly quite a few damage dealers, especially now, but Jaina is one of the most valuable, and if I were Goon Squad, I would have wanted to pick her up as well. So now the PLEYZ are looking at this, and they did want to prioritize their support. So grabbing Uther, I think that's wise, because Uther alongside Vala and Jaina, with the amount of stun that he has, as well as potentially with Divine Shield or things like that, they don't want to go against him, so instead they're going to use him, and he, paired with some damage dealers on that side, with Kael'thas, for example, is going to be formidable.
Yeah, I think we will probably see them go ahead and pick up their tank here. Maybe an ETC or Muradin as well, I think is definitely going to be the case. If they were to get Muradin, then the stuns would be really awesome between both Uther and Muradin, so then Kael'thas would be able to throw out a lot of damage. I wouldn't mind seeing a Kerrigan as their final pickup. I think it would throw Goon Squad for a loop, and also because they've got the Uther, it'd be a great potential for the Divine Shield. I do believe the PLEYZ were the ones who were picking their tank second to last, and then wasn't this the team that was doing that like every time, or was that Envy Gaming?
I can't remember, but I really like it. I've seen a couple teams in this series do it, and I think it's really smart when you have the opportunity to leave that last pick open as a flex pick, especially when it could be a damage dealer or something else. I mean, it's almost got to be a damage dealer, but they have Kael'thas, they have Sylvanas, so they can do almost everything they need to do with the heroes they've already picked. So that leaves that last one open to respond to whatever Goon Squad does, so they won't get surprised. Now, Goon Squad has a pretty good understanding of what the PLEYZ have here, so they can force a pick or, do something of their own. They have 2 damage dealers and a tank. They're going to be looking for a support, but what do you think they'll do in addition to that?
I would love Tyrael here. I'm really hoping for Tyrael. We've seen Tyrael and Nubrak, really, really great team or composition in terms of the dual tank, and both do a ton of damage, and they're so set with damage with Vala and Jaina that I don't think it would be a concern about having 2 tanks and then a support. So that's what I would love to see. It's possible they could go an ETC. I've sometimes seen an ETC a Nubrak, but that was more in EU when I saw that. We could maybe see a healer and then like a melee assassin, but I feel like they're just going to be, that healer is going to be really taxed because they are so squishy, especially having a Nubrak as your one and only tank. Can definitely be done. They'll be dealing a ton of damage, but they'll definitely need a super strong healer, and that's going to be Rhaegar, and there is the Tyrael. And now look, they've got the potential for 4 Blood for Bloods at 16.
I like those picks. I was going to say, I think Rhaegar is probably the most solid here when he can really, I mean, Ancestral Healing is just, can't be emphasized enough how strong that is. You can basically bring someone back from the dead, and you definitely are going to have to do that with Vala or Jaina at some point. Malfurion could have been a fun pick there. I really like him with 2 hooded ladies as well, when they can just huddle up under his wings and do damage from under Tranquility. I would have liked that as well, but Rhaegar certainly a great pick. And also, we saw in that last game how the slows from Rhaegar can really complement the slows from Jaina, and that can be kind of devastating. And then you got your Tyrael pick as well. That set up the PLEYZ to do something interesting. They've gone with Zeratul. Why do you think they did that, Gilly?
Well, I was expecting more of a Kerrigan, but Zeratul is definitely great at being able to help set up good good spots to fight around. And remember that we're going to be on Cursed Hollow, so that's definitely something you want, because a lot of times when you're fighting, it's in a less than ideal position. So if they're able to throw out a Void Prison, then they could conceivably go ahead and get into a better position, maybe surrounding the Void Prison, and then from there be able to take them out. They can also use the Void Prison to maybe help them cap some of those big merc camps, as well as a tribute to. Now, you know, something really cool that I've seen once before, like once, that worked to success was a Zeratul that went auto attack and then picked up shadow assaults, and then he was just like destroying the back line. And guess who they have as a support to maybe help that? They've got somebody with Divine Shield. Will we see that? I pray. Well, but probably not. But it'd be really freaking cool if we did.
I like that idea, because looking at these 2 teams, we've just seen Vala Jaina or Kerrigan Jaina, any of these like damaged ladies can just do so much together. And certainly Kael'thas is a formidable damage dealer, and certainly Sylvanas is no joke in a team fight as well. But looking at that team composition for the PLEYZ, I would like to see as much damage as possible coming out of Zeratul. So if that auto attack Divine Shield build got used, I wouldn't be mad, Gilly.
I wouldn't be mad. We just like anything different. And you know, we do want to mention this is a best of 5. So these guys do have a lot of room to experiment and maybe get a good win off of something that completely throws their opponents off. So here we go, guys. Here's what I'm asking. Goon Squad, I want some sanctification. And the PLEYZ, let's see some Zeratul Shadow Assaults craziness. It's fine. It'll totally work. It worked in EU. It's good. It's good.
All right. Well, I'm down, Gilly. Whatever Gilly wants, Gilly gets in this first game of the Beta Finals, Best of 5 Finals. We are going to be on Cursed Hollow. This is a really fun map because there's going to be lots of skirmishes, lots of team fights over these tributes that will be spawning in the top and bottom of the map. There are 6 places where tributes spawn. If a team can manage to grab 3 tributes, they will curse their opponents, which means their opponent's buildings cannot shoot and their minions are only 1 HP. So that's a great thing when you want to do some pushing or you want to have some room on the map. We'll see these teams really fighting over those randomly spawning tributes soon, but first, we must introduce them.
We sure must. We've got the PLEYZ in blue with Pirate Rum picking up that Zeratul, Lex Uther spinning like mad on Uther, Yell Cow, not playing the Cow, but instead the Muradin, Zeus on Sylvanas, and playing Kael'thas is Evan Drinde.
And for the Goon Squad wearing red, we have Vala, being played by Goat. Boss will again be on Nubarak. Hosty will play Jaina. Get Up will play Rhaegar. And Yoda will take Tyrael.
All right, well, I'm pulling up those talents and looking for Zeratul, who is undecided. Of course, the one person who hasn't decided their level 1 talent. Oh, fine. I guess they're keeping us in suspense a little bit.
Goon Squad lining up in the middle here. 3 members of their team in the bushes. Yoda playing around in the trees, and Hosty standing right behind the gate. They were looking to hopefully grab a gank. Decided they got tired of that. Are going to invite Zeus, Lex Luthor, and Yelcow to jump out and play with them in the mid lane. It was 4v3, but it looks like Boss Floss is going to take himself up toward the top lane, where he will find Zeratul. Looking to soak experience, not get lost there. Evan Drinde and Yoda facing off in the bottom lane, and so we have even heroes in all lanes.
And there's Zeratul got seasoned marksman. My dreams, Anna, they are happening. They are possibly happening.
It's real.
I've seen some go auto attack and still go with Void Prisoner. So the level 10 will definitely be the place where we will see it for sure. Nubrak going with the Beetle build. So like we mentioned before, really good for laning, is a little bit mana intensive, but what's interesting to me is that we've actually got Pirate Realm on Zeratul laning for now. That's not often something we see as Zeratul usually. We'll see them running around trying to get those ganking opportunities because he is cloaked.
Yeah, Zeus coming up to try to aid Pirate Rum in clearing this wave and potentially pushing up against Boss Toss, I keep wanting to say Boss Toss. You know where I'm coming from, Gilly. Yelcow and Lex Luthor in a little bit of trouble as Hosty, Get Up, and Goat are really focusing down Lex Luthor, who will die. Will be able to heal Yelcow with his Ghost Uther healing, but that will be a first kill on behalf of Goon Squad.
Goon Squad are picking up the first blood, but that's okay, guys, because in the early game, they will be right back up, and they already are doing a good job of making sure they're soaking all of the lanes, even with that death. That's really key when you lose somebody early on. Now, as we approach those level 4 talents, we will get this first tribute starting to spawn. Yelcow and Uther coming in after Hosty, who will be able to get away. They don't deal very much damage, even though they have a lot of stuns.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see that tribute, like you said, is going to be spawning soon. Both teams now at level 4. It does spawn randomly. There's, no way to predict. So a lot of times you'll see teams kind of falling in line in the middle, trying to be close to both sides of the map. It will spawn in the top this time, and luckily 2 members of each team will be there in the top lane looking to grab that tribute. Now, we might not see teams really go full bore engaging over this tribute because it's only one. It's not going to change anything at this point in the game. They don't want to lose anybody over it. Right now, Boss Floss zoning and being joined by Goat and Hosty, so it looks right now like Goon Squad may have the advantage, zoning out Zeus and everyone else, Goat channeling, and will grab that tribute. Although Rhaegar will go down, and Pirate Rum is getting very low as well. Will Boss Floss be able to grab him? No, it's actually Goat that deals the final blow. Both teams lose 1 over that first tribute, Gilly.
Yeah, and actually Kael'thas got killed early on in the bottom too, so he was able to come back in fully healed, which helped, but they were still able to pick up the tribute despite their loss of their healer, them being Goon Squad, of course. And they are a little bit ahead in experience because they've gotten a few more kills, made sure that they were soaking in the lane a little bit more effectively too. So they're going to hit level 7 first. And speaking of talents, we do have Nether Wind picked up by Kael'thas, so increasing that gravity lapses range and speed by 30%. I actually really like this. It makes it a lot easier for him to be able to pick up somebody with the gravity lapse without getting too far forward, maybe losing positioning a little bit.
Both teams actually grabbed their bruisers, or sorry, siege giants on behalf of the PLEYZ, I believe. But they grabbed some mercenaries before running toward this tribute. It does look like we see the advantage right now from the blue team. They are zoning people out. Evan Drinde will be channeling this tribute. Will he be able to get it before an interrupt? Goat tries to interrupt but does not manage to do it before Evan Drinde does grab that tribute. It will now be 1-1, both teams holding just 1 tribute toward their curse.
Yeah, the Goon Squad, that positioning was really difficult for them because of the rock outcropping, and maybe they could have just stayed in lane and tried to stay ahead in terms of experience because they do have the experience advantage. Boss Floss getting very, very low as to get away, and this is a really big push coming in from Sylvanas on top. But there is a big one also for the PLEYZ, from the Goon Squad on the mid and on the bottom, as well as they have 3 people going after the turrets. So they are at least staying ahead in experience. As we get to these next tributes, it's possible we'll have a situation where one team does have those level 10 abilities, and it's going to make it really difficult for the other team to try to pick up that turret. But thankfully, each does have a tribute, and looks like we're losing some heroes on bot.
Yeah, Jaina and Muradin both falling, so one hero down for each team. Yoda also got very low but managed to escape behind the wall. We'll have to go back and heal. Kill timers at this point in the game fairly short, so that's not going to make a huge impact right now on the game. But both teams approaching level 10, so they really don't want to be losing heroes right now, especially as the tribute is also spawning.
Man, this boss from Sylvanas is just crazy on top. Boss was coming back in, wants to try to take out the giants, but the tribute is spawning bot, and that means that... okay, I'm going to switch to cameras really fast. That means that as that tribute spawns on bot, he's going to be pretty far out of position, but Sylvanas is still up there too, and did look to be going back to the well to try to heal up. The sippy cup even, if you will.
The sippy cup.
Yeah. So depending on how this fight goes, it could snowball out of control if both teams decide to go for this, because they are both pretty close to 10. It does seem like, I think the green or the blue team is the PLEYZ. Yes, the PLEYZ are a little bit closer. So if they were able to stay in lane a little bit longer, it's possible that if they were to get one kill off of this tribute fight, they're gonna have 10, and then from there they're gonna definitely press in and try to get more kills off of that, and as well as the tribute. So I think we're gonna see this one where the PLEYZ are, even though it's kind of more on their side, they're gonna have to be a little more passive, unless they might just stay in lane and avoid it altogether.
Looks like the players are ready, and we see some good sportsmanship. Actually, Yell Cow offering that Goat can come live with Yell Cow if he needs some better internet. So nice offer. Now the teams will go to battle over the tribute. Hosty and Goat coming in from behind to actually ignore the tribute and instead look for an engagement here. Evan Drinde getting low and focused, but will be able to run away as Yell Cow tanks and pushes himself toward the front line. No heroes lost yet in this engagement, and the tribute still sitting there all by its lonesome. Lex Luthor looking like he might want to take a crack at it, but Get Up is faster. We'll go start channeling. And it looks like the PLEYZ are content to let them have this one. They know it won't result in a curse. They're fine letting it go, and they're going to spread out back toward lanes.
Yeah, so I was worried about the Goon squad being behind in experience, but there was such a huge minion push in mid that they were really able to get their heroic abilities actually a little bit sooner. And now Boss is on the chase on Zeus up on top. Will let him get away, but this has been a constant problem all game, is Sylvanas sitting up here at top. It means that a noob has to stay up here and try to deal with her. Thankfully, they do have 2 tanks, so for them it's not too big of a deal, as long as they continue to make sure that they still have that 4v4 and they don't suddenly find themselves in a 4v5 situation.
Lex Luthor did manage to get a stun on Get Up as he kind of wandered in the wrong direction here toward the mid lane, but able to have enough health to get past a potential death. Now the tribute is spawning top, so we will see a skirmish over this tribute because the Goon squad has 2 tributes already. If they manage to get one more, it's going to turn into a curse. So we should see a mounted defense from the PLEYZ, as they don't want that curse to happen.
Alright, well here we go. Here comes the Boss is already getting very low. Took a ton of damage from that Flame Strike, and a Gravity Lapse will stun him, but a great Ancestral Healing brings him back up. Vala will be the first to fall. That Void Prison kept Boss from being able to engage in there and try to save her. And now Muradin is down though, so that's the tank on the side of the PLEYZ. And they don't have a second tank like Goon Squad do. They do have Uther though, who is very tanky for a support. It looks like Hosty was maybe going to try to just channel the tribute, but realizing that all of her teammates are very, very low, Jaina had to come in and try to slow them down, which she could do with her Cone of Cold. All of her abilities do slow because they apply that chill. And so far, still no pick up on the tribute, but everybody is very low on the side of the Goon Squad. Rhaegar only being able to heal so much. What a great Phoenix there, being able to zone everyone from coming back in. There's Goat, fresh from dying, respawning back in, going to be able to throw out a lot in terms of trying to keep them from getting this tribute. But Yell Cow's back as well. A good healing totem is trying to keep everyone healed, but Pirate Rum is jumping right in there, trying to take down Goat again, who is going to strafe, dealing a bunch of damage to Pirate Rum and will be healed as well. Divine Shield has to go down on the Zeratul, and now it's the shoes on the other foot. Everybody's low on the PLEYZ, as Tyrael will be the one to go down, but look at everybody so low for the PLEYZ. There goes Zeratul, there goes Kael'thas, Lex Uther barely getting away from those little beetles, but a new Barak is down thanks to Zeus, and now this is a 2v3, but Goat fully healed will be able to push everybody back. His first curse will go to Goon Squad.
What an interesting narrative there was in that fight, Gilly, because I thought that we were going to see Goon Squad go down right away, but then an ancestral healing on Boss Floss brought him back from the dead, which all of a sudden turned the tide in favor of Goon Squad. But because they only have that one, they only had Jaina available to be doing lots of damage, they couldn't melt down the PLEYZ fast enough, and the PLEYZ just kind of stayed kind of healthy enough to start pushing them back until, you know, it just went back and forth and back and forth. So these teams evenly matched, but in totally different ways. I think the MVP of that fight, though, was Rhaegar with his healing, because if he hadn't kept them so healthy and used that ancestral healing right off the bat, we wouldn't have seen them win, I don't think.
Get Up has some great placement on healing totems. Like, placing it behind that wall there was such a cool placement, because it was just a little bit more difficult to get to. Pirate Rum so close to catching that Vala. Now, it does seem like 2 forts have gone down. That's a pretty good curse for Goon Squad, especially early on. You're generally okay with that. They are going after the boss, which Pirate Rum sees. So this might be a problem. Both teams have level 13 talent, so it's not like they are behind on talent. A Void Prison does go down. Pirate Rum's going to go in. The boss, though, gets caught. Oh, no! That's not what they wanted. The boss got caught, but now everybody is here throwing down strafe. Does get the full strafe off. That's a ton of damage, guys. That's so much damage. Anubarak will go down. A great Divine Shield, though, keeping Muradin alive just long enough that Rhaegar is going to go down. I think they're going to lose this boss here, Anna. Oh, it's so close. Yoda trying so hard to keep them off, but Goat is the only one left, and it looks like what? Oh, Tyrael gets him with the bomb, but Vala goes down, and they are going to steal the boss. It's a great pickup from the PLEYZ.
Ooh, that reminds me actually that we saw such an awesome Phoenix over that tribute that was spawned right there. And again, Phoenix being such a major player in this fight over the boss, because that Phoenix area covers the entire little alcove that the boss is in. So being a major player in that fight, I think that we'll see that from Kael'thas quite a bit more, making a difference in this game.
Oh, yes. And important to note, Phoenix's cooldown timer, 40 seconds, so it's up, you know, like every time you would ever need it. But speaking of Phoenix, why don't we never did go over the heroics really fast. The PLEYZ picked up Divine Shield Phoenix. Void Prison after all, what can we do? Wailing Arrow for Sylvanas and Avatar. But the Void Prison has come in handy a lot, so you can't blame them there. And Goon Squad have gotten that strafe, which has been so pivotal. Web Blast for New Barak. Water Elemental, the Ancestral Healing, and then Judgment.
Yeah, all kind of what we expected. Really cool. Divine Shield is one of my favorites. I think that can be really fun to play with, so we will see what they do. They won't do what you were hoping quite with the Void Prison being picked in fact on Zeratul, unfortunately, but I think those will be fun. Goat actually having to move back and tap well, as there is a boss for the PLEYZ wailing on the lane down here in the bottom. Looks like it will take down at least this well, and we'll move forward toward the fort. Yoda and Goat not being able to do much about it, but Rhaegar, in the meantime, Get Up is going to be able to take this tribute in the top lane.
Well, yeah, Sylvanas is there, and that means that those structures are not attacking this boss, which means they can still push. And now what I want to note here is that even without a curse, the PLEYZ with some excellent decision making have caught back up in terms of structures. So now they have they are 1-1 in terms of tributes. They are going to stun and catch Yoda out here. That is huge. Tyrael is now going to be down for 40 seconds, and this boss is going to go straight toward the keep after taking out this last turret, even Void Prisoning to stop some of the damage. But now the boss walks straight into a good Wailing Arrow, nearly catches Hosty, but doesn't quite do so. And Goat does strafe, but it's more of a zoning strafe at this point. They're just trying to get them back so they can take out that boss, which they do so. But this keep now is going to be available. It's going to be open should they be able to pick up their boss in the future.
I think that the PLEYZ are doing a really great job of keeping Yelcow solidly out in front, blocking the way toward most of the rest of their squishy characters. Ooh, we see a stun go down, and Jaina will be killed, being a little too aggressive there. The Goon Squad has to back up. Boss Floss also getting low, but will turn and attack. Phoenix does go down. There's a Web Blast also on the field. Stuns will make Boss Floss go down, as he is stunned inside the Phoenix area. Now we see the PLEYZ pushing in even further, but do they have enough health to continue? Pirate Rum is very low and will have to back off. Goat and Yoda keeping the chase going. Get Up very healthy as well. Zeus Lex Uther And Pirate Rum also low. Sylvanas will fall. Lex Uther will likely be next. Pirate Rum and Evan Drinde having to decide what they're going to do. Running is a good idea. Evan Drinde, what are you doing?
Oh, living bomb. Oh, good job. Get up, gets the ancestral healing, but now he's out of mana. That was the problem before, is that the PLEYZ were out of mana. They weren't really able to stop that attack from the fresher Goon squad who had just come up from being killed. They are going to be able to pick up this tribute, and there is a good solid minion push in mid here who is taking out some of the structures here. That's going to help the Goon squad as they're falling a little bit behind in terms of experience after these few boss fights. So I would like to point out level 16 talents on both sides. There's a lot of blood for blood and one northern exposure on the side of Goon Squad. That is straight up damage. So much damage. That's pretty crazy. And only one blood for blood on the side of PLEYZ. But they do have that ignite. That's where you're going to start seeing the Kael'thas damage really start to go up. Not quite as much now that we have that hotfix, but still it will go up quite a bit as it will apply Living Bomb to anybody who is in the path of the Flame Strike.
Now we see the PLEYZ staying fairly grouped up, which is a great idea. They certainly have a good team fight going, as they have all of the blood, as I like to say. Blood for blood all over the place on that team. But unfortunately, what they're waiting for, well, they're waiting for bruisers, so that's going to happen. But the opposing team is way up there in the top lane, having to deal with a large push that resulted from an early boss. And just so happens that they're going to be right next to that tribute as it spawns. The PLEYZ are going to have to respond to that yet again, because if Goon Squad grabs this tribute, it will be another curse.
Righto, and whoever gets this is most certainly going to get the boss that's right there as well. So that's definitely, this is going to be a hotly contested one too, and looks like, I think Goon Squad would definitely want to be the ones to start the engagement because they do have that Anubarak and Tyrael, but they're just biding their time waiting. But Pirate Rum is going to blink in, going to wormhole out, and there is the Web Blast, which means it's time. A good judgment on Evan Drinde, but they don't get him now. Boss Plus is able to finish him off. That Void Prison was so good, so integral in stopping the Goon Squad from being able to capitalize on top of the, or follow up on top of the judgment, but they were still able to get kills on Kael'thas, Sylvanas, and Uther, who is, will not be able to spawn yet. They're not level 20, and Hosty comes around to pick up the kill on Muradin. Tyrael is going to grab that tribute. They're going to go straight for their boss and to clear up this push in mid here. And we should see them try to push in from there somewhere, maybe in mid, since the boss would be pushing top, or they might try to escort the boss.
Man, there's just so much damage coming out from Goon Squad. That blood for... I mean, just... I looked, and then all of a sudden the PLEYZ weren't in the fight anymore. You know, that was so fast. So now as we inch toward those level 20 talents, what the PLEYZ have to be thinking is, okay, maybe team fights aren't our thing. How are we going to take advantages in this game? How are we going to pull one of those really damaging members out of those team fights and melt them down quickly? Because our strategy of just hiding behind Muradin and waiting for them to come to us is not working anymore. Now it looks like Goon Squad is going to go for this bottom boss as well. They are going to try to get as much push going as possible. Their top boss is doing all sorts of work, and the entire team of the PLEYZ is up there defending. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big push escorting this boss toward the inner keep of the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, they had everyone up on their opponent's side, but they had level 20 talents in addition to the fact that there was a boss pushing with Curse. And so now the Goon Squad, level 20 still, their opponents are not, and a boss is going to go straight to core. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and leave it. They're going to circle around. It'd be a little bit risky to go into that position, but because the boss is going, they're having to defend on two different fronts. They've got their own, they've got heroes pushing in toward this mid keep, and a boss that's going to take out this tower and then try to go for core. So for now, they're taking out the boss and doing a pretty good job at it, but in that amount of time, their opponents were able to pick up the keep, and now two lanes will be pushing in with catapults, and that top keep is also very vulnerable.
Well, so now we're looking at 4 forts surviving for the Goon Squad and only 1 surviving for the PLEYZ. The boss did end up taking a few hits on the core. It's going to be fine. It was shielded. It's still at 100%. But the PLEYZ are in a position they did not want to be in. They're now looking to take their siege giants. They want to push these lanes out as far as possible. They've got a lot of defense to do before they can do any kind of aggressive behavior.
That is definitely right. They'll have to be watching those lanes for the rest of the game, in fact, until they're able to take down some peaks of their own, because the catapults mean that the push will just always favor them. Or go against them, I should say. But they do have their level 20 talents up now. They did pick up the Hardened Shield on Muradin, and that's going to make it a little bit more difficult for the Goon Squad to be able to just burn him down with all those Blood for Bloods like they have. They also have a couple of Bolts of the Storm to help with positioning Rewind on Zeratul, so he'll be doing a lot of damage and have blinks for days with Wormhole. And then, Redemption for Uther, so remember that means that he will respawn after his ghost phase, so that's something that can definitely turn the tide of the battle in terms of the plays, especially at least now that they're on the same playing field in terms of talents too.
Absolutely. The tribute is spawning in the bottom where nobody is. The PLEYZ and Goon Squad were about to face off in the top lane. It looks like the PLEYZ are interested in grabbing that tribute. I think that's smart because that's one of the things that a curse could really give them some breathing room. It could help them push out their lanes. It could help them maybe grab some advantages. But they've got to defend against these siege giants in the bottom. They've got to defend against now the Goon Squad, who is like, hey, well, if you're going to run toward that tribute, we'll just take your keep. That's fine.
Yeah, that's a perfect decision to make on terms of the Goon Squad, because they've got to keep them here. That means they won't be going and getting the tribute. They have some good potential to just throw damage on to that keep with Bala and Jaina. So they don't really have to be in there. We see the multi-shot going out, just slowly whittling that keep down. They're waiting for an engagement here, and there is going to be from Yelkow. And a huge judgment onto Sylvanas, but it's a little bit too far, and that Void Prison is really great. Boss pretty low, is going to have to burrow charge away, and they're going through the Wailing Arrow and the Phoenix to try to get back into this keep, but really good heals from Get Up, keeping everybody alive. Yelkow's coming back in, and there's the burn! So much burning down from the Blood for Bloods. He has the Divine Shield, but it's over now, and he's being slow. They're going after him. They want to pick up that Muradin kill. Will they be able to get it? No, they will not. He's going to go away. A great stun from Kael'thas saving the day, and now Yoda's the one who gets taken out, and we're going to see the Goon Squad exit the building.
Wow. Interesting turn there. I thought when that Wailing Arrow didn't have much follow-up that was going to be a turning moment, that we would see Goon Squad be able to take that fight against the PLEYZ, but you can't underestimate fighting underneath structures. So the PLEYZ really doing a great job of not only defending but being aggressive, and now they're going to continue that aggression as they know their opponents are a little bit low. They're going to push them out of the way and take this tribute. So that was certainly a success. This is exactly what the PLEYZ wanted and needed to happen right now.
Yes, that is definitely right. They did the right thing too, I think, by staying and defending that keep, because they really, really need to at least have one lane they don't have to worry about. Because look, they would love to press advantage at this point, right? There's a boss up here that is spawning, but they had to go back and defend their base, which gives the Goon Squad enough time to be able to set up around here. Now they know what's happening, and they might be able to get up here in time. They're burning it down pretty quickly. Pirate Realm's going to drop a Void Prison. Most likely it's up in 3 seconds though. Whoa! And it just wasn't quite up in time, and now Divine Shield already down, but Void Prison was used. Did catch a couple members. They're trying to catch Boss, so was able to avoid like all of the singularity spikes, but Rhaegar gets stunned and taken out instantly. A really good strafe from Goat. Throws a bunch of damage down, but doesn't quite get anybody. And now Goat is down. Yoda and Boss very, very low. Hosty super low. And Devin was trying to follow up, but wasn't quite able to do so. They got a great stun. That gravity lapse from Kael'thas, so good. Now a new Brock is down, and these respawn timers are long. But this boss is going to drop the keep and go to core. What are the PLEYZ going to do? Are they just going to go for this keep and try to win the game here?
I don't know, Gilly, and I'm not sure what the right answer is here, but the boss is now on the core. Ooh, and the PLEYZ are going to have to turn back. They're going to have to do it quick, too, because they are not very healthy. They are being pursued, and they need as much damage as they can to come back to the core. Pirate Realm on Zeratul will fall as well, and now there's only Evandrinde and Yelkow currently in the base to defend against this boss. It won't be enough. This core is going down.
Holy cow. The decision to stay there costing the PLEYZ the game. I mean, it was pretty rough there anyway, but I just can't believe Tyrael plus Jaina took out 3 members of the PLEYZ that were like running away. It was just like one after another. But the first game going to go to the Goon Squad in this best of 5.
Well played by both teams, keeping us guessing throughout the game. Really, really fun play. And, you know, I think that we saw how valuable aggression and damage can be. I really think that was the turning point. When we saw all those Blood for Bloods come out, that's where the PLEYZ really stopped being able to respond the way they wanted to, don't you think?
Yeah, the Blood for Bloods just really made the turn the tide because they were able to throw them all on Muradin. And what they did so well, too, was once Muradin picked up Hardened Shield, if you throw those on him with Hardened Shield, it's going to do, like, nothing. It's reduces it by quite a bit. So, like we saw the fight up there by that top keep, they were able to wait until he had already used it, and then they burned him down really low. Now, they eventually still lost that fight, but they still were able to take him down a lot faster with it than if they had just, like, wasted them all on the Hardened Shield. So, really good play from both teams. It was just a solid game in terms of just getting ahead, staying ahead from the Goon squad, making sure that I really liked that decision to go get the boss and then immediately go get the bottom boss as well. That really helped them pick up keeps, and then they were able to just keep it from there. Even in losing a team fight, they were able to take the victory for them. GG's.
Yeah, very much so, GG. It is going to be 1-0 at this point, but don't worry, this is a best of 5, so we have plenty of games left to go. We should probably get right into them. We're going to take a really short break, and we'll be right back with game 2.
We will. See you guys in a bit.